What's up guys, welcome back to Seize the Speed for another video. To the right side of me we have the 2024 Hyundai IONIQ 6 Limited, and this is the dual motor version, so it's got some power to it. Let's go take a look. So let's talk styling. Hyundai's been doing some very interesting design cues on their cars, and I think a lot of them are actually pretty good looking. I really like the front end of this car, and this round bulbous front end gives me Porsche vibes. I really like the look. We have the new thin, not so raised Hyundai logo on this car. The keyless entry is freaking out right now on me. We have cameras and sensors all the way in the front. Not really a grille because, you know, no internal combustion engine in this car. Side profile of the IONIQ 6, it's pretty good looking. I really love this paint color, this gray with the blue metal flakes in it. Looks pretty sweet. The side silhouette and the rear 3/4 is very hatchback-like. Comes into this crazy looking rear end, which also is Porsche-like, but probably from a different era. This up here, this deck spoiler, really reminds me of the spoilers on air-cooled 70s Porsches. Looks pretty cool, pretty neat. This the rest of this back design just kind of drops all the way down. Just a double-decked spoiler. Light bar with individual LEDs inside. IONIQ 6 written underneath the glass over here, which is pretty cool. You have a blacked out section that kind of resembles a diffuser, but overall the design of this car is interesting, it's quirky, and I'm here for it. I really like the design of this car. I think they did a pretty good job. The C-pillar, the way it flows into the trunk, is pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and let's look at the trunk storage while we're back here. So this car has a setting where the trunk just pops open when you walk up to it. It senses you standing by it. But here's the storage in the back of IONIQ 6. It's not bad at all. It's pretty deep. Pretty impressive. So of course, no internal combustion means that you of course get a little bit of front storage, but Hyundai has packed a lot of your 12-volt battery, fuses, your windshield washer fluids, and your coolant. So you don't really get a boot, you kind of get a tray. So if you want to put some small documents or, you know, maybe a little bit of camera equipment, you can fit over here. But aside that, it's not a very useful storage space. It's more for your maintenance stuff up in the front. Alright, let's take a look at the interior of the IONIQ 6, and the quirky theme of this car, of course, continues here. So, as I mentioned, this is indeed the limited model, so it has a lot of fun features. And you just heard the chime, that means this car is alive. That's all it takes to start an IONIQ 6. We have this fan on full blast. I'm gonna turn that off. So, door panels and the door cards in this car, pretty interesting. You don't really have a handle. This entire thing is your handle. Speaker grill looks pretty nifty. You have this wrinkled pattern over here, and you have your seat adjustments and memory seating over there. Seat adjustments are on the side. That's your memory seating. Steering wheel, it's a 2-spoke with the new Hyundai steering wheel emblems that actually lights up. That's interesting. You have some ambient lights on the dash. The dash is pretty simple, minus these, I don't know what to call them. They look like little canards that stick out the dash. You have very similar gauge cluster setup and infotainment setup to the new Sonata, but the EV has white background and the gauges look a little futuristic. Climate control, it's a little bit complicated. I'm not the biggest fan of this touchscreen, especially because everything is clustered together and not a whole lot of feedback. You just get a small beep. So you could totally be touching the wrong thing, and especially when you're driving, it gets distracting. On that theme, we have all of our heated seats, cooled seats, and steering wheel stuffed in this menu. So it's a 2-touch operation instead of just a button. But at least we have cooled seats and heated seats in this car, and also we have a heated steering wheel, which is pretty nifty. We have your wireless charging pad over there, cup holders, and then we come back here. This is pretty interesting. They decided to do the Jeep Wrangler thing. So if you wanted to take your doors off, you would still have the wiring over here for your window switches, not inside your doors. But jokes aside, interesting design choice, but this is where all your lock on lock and your window blinds are, which, you know, it's interesting that they chose to do that in 2024. USB-C charging in there, and you even have a full-on USB Type A in the dash right next to your wireless charger. Let's take a look at the back seat. Back seat of the IONIQ 6. And this is where benefits of an EV is really shown. I mean, sitting behind my own seating position, I'm about 5'10". There's really nothing in an ICE world, unless you're talking about a Bentley Mulsanne or a Rolls Royce, that gives you this type of legroom. It has to be some long wheelbase crazy sedan, and also a flat floor, completely flat floor, so you can have 3 passengers back here very comfortably. I mean, this bench is very usable still. Even if I sit here, I have let's say 3 fingers, about 1.5 inches of leg room. But these seats are super comfortable. You also still get your armrest. You get USB-C charging back here. Of course, this car comes with Bose audio, which sounds pretty nice. And that's about it for the back seat. It's a very roomy place to be. But all that aside, I'm curious to get behind the wheel of this car and actually take control, see what this dual motor with 320 horsepower is capable of. Let's hop in and take this thing for a spin. Driving the Hyundai IONIQ 6 Limited, and this is the dual motor making 320 horsepower. Oh, this car's fun. Woo! So 270 miles of range on this trim. That instant torque is, of course, plenty fun. We have some regen brakes going on here, so when you let go, the car kind of slows down fast. So you could technically one pedal drive this. You could, of course, turn it off. This car with fast charging can get up to 208 miles of range in just 18 minutes, which is pretty impressive. Super quiet, minus the little Hyundai chime that's supposed to kind of simulate a little bit of engine noise. When you accelerate, though, that does affect your range, so it depends on whether you've been good or not. That mileage or the distance left, your range changes pretty rapidly. If I floor it, we just dropped a mile of range. But if you're driving it regularly and you can behave, it's not bad at all. There goes our lane keep assist telling me that I'm getting too close to the right side. So safety features in this car are definitely present. You have your active cruise control, of course. You can have it take over and just hold the speed and keep in a straight lane. As long as you're paying attention, the car will do the rest for you. And make sure to keep your hands on the steering wheel. Cooled seats in this car, in all Hyundais. Cooled seats work really well on Hyundais. I don't know what's the deal with that, but I really like it. And a hot summer day like this, it definitely cools you off. We have our window switches in the middle in this car, which is a little odd, but it makes the door panel look like a cool one-piece design. Goes with the quirky exterior design of this car. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like it. The back end of this car kinda reminds me of air-cooled Porsche with a deck lid on it. The front too, it just has those big kinda bulbous looking round headlights. The blind spot cameras, as always, are very handy in these cars. So this particular model MSRP is right around $53,000. And for all the features that you get and the very impressive Hyundai powertrain warranty, this is a pretty solid EV choice. Makes some very good noises. I like that I like that whooshy. It's odd, but it's fun. These pedals on the IONIQ 6, they're not paddle shifters. They are there to add or reduce your regen braking. So how much interference, like this is maximum, so it's pretty much stopping the car. So I can one pedal drive, but if I let go, it aggressively stops. But now if I press this, there we go. Now I have almost no regen. It drives kind of like a regular car, which is interesting. Different levels of regen braking on this car. It's good that it's handy. You don't have to go dig in the menu and change all that. What is not handy is your heated seat, heated steering wheel. All of that is integrated in a touch controlled climate situation, or a button on your infotainment screen, and you can turn things on and off. But it's a little distracting when you're trying to focus on the road. I wish that they had little buttons here and there for it, because you know, once you get adjusted to your car, you're never going to be searching for this. But as opposed to this, which this is a multi-click operation, it's not just one tap of one simple button somewhere. Aside that, the infotainment screen is very responsive on these Hyundais, and this one of course has the white background since this is the EV, but it's very similar to its ICE and hybrid cousin, the Hyundai Sonata. The setup of your gauge cluster next to your infotainment screen works pretty well. The all-wheel drive holds you pretty well in the corner on this dual motor version. It's not bad at all. Very stable car. I like the steering. For an electric car, it doesn't have crazy feedback of course, but it's heavier than some that I've experienced. We're gonna go ahead and throw it in sport mode and see what that does. I just realized that has sport mode. Whoa, okay, this gives you a boost. Just like most EVs, the instantaneous torque that you get off the line is pretty crazy in these cars. Absolutely bonkers acceleration, especially in sport mode. Lots and lots of fun. Definitely kicks your head to the headrest. As a daily driver that, you know, accelerates like a bat out of hell, I definitely suggest the IONIQ 6. I don't see too many, you know, negative points about this car, minus maybe some ergo issues in the interior, which are just personal preference, honestly. So if you're looking for a full-size sedan, you know, if you're looking into a Sonata and you're looking for something a little more spicy, look into one of these. It's a fun little EV. What I noticed with a lot of these EVs, since they're a little heavier, their off-the-line acceleration, unless they are the crazy hyper-fast performance model, isn't that impressive. What is impressive is when you already have some momentum at, like in this situation, looking at 46 miles an hour, and then you punch it, this is when you get that really impressive acceleration. Yeah, that's what these cars are good at. And with that, I'm gonna conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed watching my review of the Hyundai IONIQ 6 Limited. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Would you take one of these? A Model 3 comes to mind in this price range. There's also a few good EVs from some new companies coming out that will compete with this car. You can maybe get an EQE to compare with this car, but it is a lot pricier. So let me know, what else would you be cross shopping an IONIQ 6 with? If you have one, let me know what's your experience with this car been. Of course, there's the Kia cousin to this car also. But that is all I have for the IONIQ 6. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace out, and I'm out.